Hi healers! My name is Jessie Wang and I'm a fourth year psychology major, education studies, Asian American studies double minor. And today we'll be talking about mental health. So I'm sure all of you have heard of the term mental health thrown around here and there, but what do you usually think of when you hear the term mental health? Some things that may pop up to your mind might be like psychiatrists or mental breakdowns and other negative things such as something's wrong with me. But in reality, mental health is actually everything. Everything is mental health. Everything that you do promotes positive mental health, and certain things that you do in certain environments you may be in may also create negative mental health. It's the health of your own personal well-being, your psychological, physical, emotional well-being, everything around you in your life that contributes to how you're doing as a person. So if mental health is so normal, why does it have such negative connotations around it? This is what we call stigma. Now, there's a lot of negative stigma around the concept of mental health, and today we're going to be myth-busting some of those stigmas. So we're going to go ahead and approach them one by one. The first myth of mental health is that when you have things that are going on in your life, you're all alone, and that it's just you. This is such a myth. In fact, 1 in 5 individuals in college will experience some form of mental illness, and 1 in 4 will experience some form of mental health issue. Now, we're going to go ahead and define the difference between mental illness and mental health. Mental illness is something that's actually diagnosable, something that you would need to see your psychologist or a counselor or psychiatrist for. Whereas mental health is much more encompassing. It includes your overall well-being as we defined previously, and it's not necessarily something that has to be diagnosable. So if you think about it, 1 in 5 and 1 in 4, that's a lot of people around you. It could be the person sitting next to you in class. It could be your neighbor, and it could be your roommate. It could even be yourself. But in reality, you really aren't alone. And the important part is that we have our community with us. You have your Ohana and Heel. You have your friends, your bigs and your littles. You have people that you can talk to. So please do talk to them, especially within an Asian American Pacific Islander community. A lot of the times we are taught to internalize our thoughts, internalize our struggles in order to save face and gain high achievement. However, your health is first and foremost most important, so you should do all that you can to go ahead and take care of yourself. Second myth about mental health. Well, resources are really expensive, and I mean, like, what if someone tells, right? At UF, we have a lot of free resources, and certain resources are confidential, legally binding. So, for instance, the Counseling and Wellness Center. The Counseling and Wellness Center is located on Radio Road. You can take a couple of different buses to get there. At the CWC, when you are there for one-on-one counseling with your therapist, that is completely confidential. I repeat, 100% completely confidential. There are certain cases in which they might need to break confidentiality, such as well, you say, Radio Road is so far out. Well, Peabody Hall, located in Plaza the Americas. Every single day there is a counselor on call. If you've got a problem going on and you just need someone to talk it out with, or you need a safe space where you can let it out, and if you need to cry or sort through your thoughts, the Counseling and Wellness Center is there. You just go, sign in, and it's completely confidential. Not to mention, the Counseling and Wellness Center also has massage chairs and puppy days. Who doesn't like free massage chairs and puppy days? And there's also resources in Gainesville as well. The Crisis Center. The Crisis Center is for anyone to call. Whether you have a little bit of stress that's going on, whether you have a friend who's in need, whether you're just confused and you don't know where to turn, or you just need someone to talk to. The Crisis Center is 100% anonymous, completely confidential. Myth number 3. You might be thinking to yourself, well, I'm still doing okay. I'm not at that point where I need to go see someone. Again, this plays into the stigma that you have to be really, 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 really down in order to see counseling. But this just adds to the stigma and to the perception that mental health and mental health counseling is something that's so negative, when that's not true at all. Think about it this way. If you were getting sick, would you wait until you have to get rolled out into the ER in order to see the doctor? Probably not, right? Same thing with mental health counseling. And that's something else that we need to be conscious of, this idea of burnout. Unfortunately, we have a tendency to glorify burnout, to glorify stress, to glorify being the most stressed out that you are and that you can be. If you're a leader, if you're not totally stressed out all the time, obviously you must not be working hard enough. If you're not taking maximum amount of credits, obviously you're not using your time well at UF, right? Well, definitely not. It's important to take breaks when you need them. It's important to recognize, hey, I'm tired and I need to take some time for myself. Self-care is so important. Whether or not you are at your most lowest point, I really encourage you all to think about your own mental health and truly reach out when you need. Myth number 4. I'm weak to admit that I need help. This is the most dangerous myth of all, because it creates this idea that recognizing your mental health and your mental health issues that may be happening in your life means admitting weakness, when in reality it takes a lot of personal strength and motivation and gusto to go to ask for help. Admitting that you need help or reaching out to find the help isn't saying that you're weak. And so during those times, please use your resources, use your friends, use your campus resources and whatever you may need in order to help yourself stay healthy. In my own personal experience in leadership, I've had my own highs and lows. I've had my time where I said, I don't need help just yet. I don't need to go talk to someone. I'll be okay. I have this deadline that I need to reach. I have an event that I need to program. I have emails that I need to send out. In reality, you need to take care of yourself first. Something that one of my personal mentors told me is that you need to be selfish in order to be selfless. Because after all, if you're not healthy, how can you fully support those in the community around you? To be very honest with you all, I had a very difficult year last year, between leadership, between academics, and maintaining everything else that was going on in my life. I hit a few lows, and unfortunately my pride and my mind didn't allow me to ask for help or go seek help until much later on. Oftentimes when you're in leadership, people see you and they see a title. They see, oh wow, Jessie, you're IVP, or oh wow, Jessie, you won pageant. That's so great. You have your life all together. Definitely not true. What I always say is, no one has their life together. It's just about how well you're able to fake it. And unfortunately, I was able to fake the status of my mental health and my own emotional and mental psychological stability way too well, enough to fool most of the people around me and enough to fool myself. I'm what they would call high functioning, with depressive symptoms and anxiety symptoms. What that looks like for me is like floating in the ocean. There's days where I'm floating, I'm swimming, and I'm doing just fine. There's days that are really good, and it's like I'm walking on water. But there's also days when the storm comes and it feels like I'm floating, like I'm sinking, like I can barely keep my head above the water. Those days are the hardest. Those days are especially the hardest in leadership, when you feel like you have to carry the weight of everything on your shoulders. But you don't, and you're definitely not alone. And in those moments, it's important to tell people, hey, I need a little bit of time, or hey, I'm not doing so hot. Please understand. And they do. And that's the beauty of it. This year I'm doing better. Stepped back, learned to take care of myself, sleep a little more, eat a little better, and do things that make me happy. Please, healers, always remember that it is so important for you to be happy. Alright, healers, well, that's all that I have for you. Remember, stay healthy, stay happy, and most importantly, if you need, reach out. Mental health isn't everything, and everything is your mental health.